Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Lycor here, and welcome back to another Predecessor Datamine slash new content leak type thing. First things first, as always, check out the Predecessor data mining subreddit. I have a link to it in the description where you can find this same post and even earlier posts from there are other champs in some earlier posts that cover, you know, what champs that haven't been released and stuff like that. So first of all, we have some update for the abilities and stats of Bright. That's all this is. So if you aren't interested in stat numbers and stuff and more of a look into Bright's abilities, this video might not be for you. If you're still interested, then let's get right into it. So first of all, we have this picture of Bright. She has a septum piercing. I don't know if that was noticeable in other pictures that I've seen of her. You can also see that she kind of has little fang right there, so yeah. Anyways, that's just lore, people, you know. So here are her base stats. This looks to be about normal as far as I can tell for a mid laner. She has some health regen. That's also normal. Mana, let's see, so health starting is going to be 700, and then level 18 is 2621. Health regen level 1 is 1, or health level 18, or health regen level 18 is 3.55. Her mana level 1 is 500, and at level 18 it will be 1095. Mana regen 1.3 to 5.55. I'm not going to go through and read all these. This will be like a 40-minute long video if I do that. As far as I know, normal attack speed and basic armor and like ability armor and movement speed and all that stuff. So onto her first ability. So we have her basic attack. I said ability. Her first attack. So pretty basic stats as far as I can tell for like damage and everything. It does not have a cleave. Attack range is going to be at 1500, right where that Soulbinder proc is. But Soulbinder doesn't proc on basic attacks, only on abilities. Attack speed, attribute cap, that stuff. There's I don't know why it says 0.6 and then 0.06. I think that O was a typo, or he typoed and forgot to put an O at level 1. But yeah. Anyway, so onto her passive. So we already know that she's going to be having some lifesteal. It looks like her lifesteal isn't going to change besides what you build on it, or it's going to change based off of this entity drop chance. So we still don't know what causes this drop chance to happen. We don't know if it's an ability hit and there's a chance that it drops, or if it's like you kill a hero or an enemy and it drops. But there is a small entity drop chance of 0.5. I don't know if that's 0.5% or if it's going to always happen. I don't know. You know, this is what it gives me. And once again, before I fully get in this, everything that you see and read in this is subject to change. This is not set in stone. It can change. This is just what has been in like the past, like the last patch. This is what was uncovered upon trying to find her data sheet and stuff. So the radius for the pickup on those is about 2000. So think of Soulbinder basic attack, where it procs. It's 500 units past that. So if you play a lot of mid lane, as far as I can tell, you'll be able to easily reach from like one platform side, river, to the other platform. You should be able to reach across that gap and be able to pick up that entity. As far as I know, that's the way it will work. So we have some gameplay cues. Her ability passive absorb essence event, we already know is going to absorb. Passive essence, passive glide active. So that passive glide could just be the entity gliding to you, or maybe it gives your character some type of glide. Really don't know. She could literally have a glide function that makes it so that she like double jumps and like glides like Wukong in a way. Ability passive nearby actor killed event. So that's, I don't know if it's nearby actor killed event as in it goes off of minions and heroes, so it's just anything that dies you can get it, or what. Ability trigger event passive glide. So it seems like double jump and you get a passive glide. Passive absorb, so that would be absorbing her entity. I'm gonna cough here. And passive target. I don't know what passive target is. Like, her passive could literally have like 3 different things where it's like partially the essence that will give her lifesteal. She could have a glide, and then she could have some type of like passive that works for her alt. Don't really know. So life drain is her Q. Damage per tick, so it is damage over time. That's a dot ability. So MP scaling per tick is going to stay the same, final tick damage, and that's just, you know, level 1, it'll do 96 damage at full tick. Level 5, it'll do 288. That's just with no items built. Final MPS scaling per tick. So that's mana per, mana per scaling per tick. Or, sorry, maybe it's mana points scaling per tick. I don't know. But that'll be 0.48%. Missing health damage. So this works kind of like Megacosm and Noxia, where it deals damage based off of the percentage of health. So this kind of looks like it will be a lifesteal kind of anti-tank character in a way. Anti-tank only with health stuff, but I mean all mages are kind of anti-tank because they're big burst damage mages, and you know they have Noxia, they have Megacosm. Those are 2 really good items to deal with tanks. Duration is 6 seconds. Percent heal 0.2 up to 0.3 at level 5. So that's the percentage that you heal from doing damage. Minion percent heal 0.1. So I think that's how much you get healing off of minions. I don't think that means that she gets minions, at least not that I know of. Cooldown is level 1, 18 seconds, level 5, 12 seconds. Mana cost, level 1, 80, level 5, 100. Essence increase, 0.02 all around. And then essence breakpoint, 10. So, I imagine this has to do with stacks or something, like the way your essence or the entity stacks. I really don't know. This is all I have to go on it. That in the last patch. You guys can comment down below and let me know. There's still more though. So here's all the gameplay cues for it. So we have ability life drain pull. So as some type of life drain pull, a cast, a debuff, a destroy, a heal, a precast, a projectile explode, a projectile hit character, a projectile hit world, a projectile spawn, a life drain targeting, life drain tick damage, and gameplay effect life drain damage. That's a lot. You know, that's a lot. As far as I can tell, that's just the basics for it, like hitting an enemy. So now we have Horror Blast, her E. This was likely renamed from Ground Erupt. He was it Late Owl who has put, which also show that guy some love, like this post and all that stuff. He's the one that does it, and yeah, he's a cool guy. So damage is starting at 80, level 1, level 5 is going to be 160, MP scaling is 0.4, radius 450. So this is some type of fear function. It has a fear. You can see it down here with the charm is what they call it for that. But radius 450, range 1650. So it's going to be even farther than the pickup. So my guess is it's a circle thing that has a range of 1650 meters, and then you have a radius of 450 within that. So it's like a small little thing that you can hit. I don't know if that means you fear like that, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense for it to have a radius and a range. You know, like if this is a fear function, why does it have a radius and a range? So as far as I can tell. Oh, here it is. Fear duration. So level 1 is going to be 1.05 seconds. Level 5 is 1.25 seconds. Slow, so it does a slow, 0.6 seconds, just all around. Cooldown, 15 seconds, level 1, 13 seconds, level 5. Mana cost 75 all around, stays the same. Essence health percent 0.01 stays the same. Essence breakpoint 10. So once again, I think this is a passive. This essence heal and breakpoint has to do with her passive. So maybe it stacks up to like 5 or something, and then it reaches a breakpoint and your ability does more damage, or you get more healing, or you gain a stack. for your healing. I don't exactly know. Once again, I don't do this stuff. I just read these and I share these notes with you guys. Horror Blast active is gameplay cues now. Horror Blast cast, charm, projectile explosion, projectile hit character, projectile hit world, projectile spawn, and then the timer for it. So here's some additional FX. He says, FYI, CA is camera action, CS is camera shake, NS is a visual effect in Unreal Engine's Niagara system. So FX/CA Bright Horror Blast cast. So it's that's Bright, her character. So it has some type of effect for the cast. Horror Blast takeoff, whatever that means, whatever takeoff means. That almost kind of sounds like her launching it, and then cast again, and then another takeoff, and then cast again, and then the charm for it, which is also the fear, and then impact. So the impact would be it hitting. So I don't. It's kind of interesting. Next we have a right mouse button or right click. It's called Wave Channel. So the stat level 1 is 50 damage, and then it'll go up to 90 damage at level 5. MP scaling is 0.18 all around. Cooldown level 1 8 seconds, level 5 4 seconds. Mana cost 55 level 1, 75 level 5. Duration is 1.5 all around. Base projectile count is 3. So wave channel, so this is some type of wave channeling thing, and it has 3 projectiles. Essence breakpoint is 50 in this case, which is different from the 10 on her E and the 10 on her Q. So this could be something that also builds with her passive, where it could work kind of like what I was thinking with the last thing that I showed in the leaks for Bright, was maybe it's a skull function. Like there's a theory that I had where it's like a skull function like Yurei, so you like build stacks of, in this case since it would be essence, and then it'll do increased damage. So it'll be kind of like Yurei's skulls, where you can like deal extra damage to them while you hit them, but in this case it's more of a, maybe the skulls aren't there and maybe it's just an effect on the character, and yeah, and then you do more damage, or you like stack your essence up to a certain breakpoint. So in the right mouse button's case, it would be 50 would be its breakpoint. So you would have to build your essence up to 50 for it to pop and do increased damage. And then the other ones would be 10. So that's my theory. There is a comment that, as far as I know, is right and is not wrong. Like in that previous video where I saw a comment, I mentioned it, and then it turns out that no, that wasn't right at all. So some gameplay cues for it. Wave channel cast, we have wave channel channeling, you know, because wave channel, the impact, projectile hit world, and projectile spawn. So it's some type of channeling, much like Gideon's passive route, I believe. Next we have her alt, her right click. Base damage is going to do 50 at level 1. Level 3 is 90. So you can tell it doesn't do a lot of damage for no items. But that's probably normal. MP scaling is 0.13. Cooldown 130 seconds at level 1. Level 3 is 90. Mana cost 100 all around. Target percent increase 0.5. Target health increase 0.3. Essence breakpoint 50, radius 1000, duration 5. So this is some type of duration ability that has a radius of 1000 units, which is quite big. Has an essence breakpoint on par with the right mouse button, and it has a percentage increase and a health increase. So obviously this ultimate is going to give you some health increase. I don't know what the percentage increase. That could be the percentage of essence you gain or something. I don't know. Once again, gameplay cues. Ability ultimate active. Hover flight cancel. So this is some type of hover flight function, hover flight trigger, hovering loop, tethered, so it has some type of tether, and hovering function, ultimate active, ultimate cast, ultimate channeling, also has a channeling, post teleport, pre-teleport, projectile hit character, projectile spawn, ultimate targeting. So it's some type of teleport, channeling, hovering, duration, massive radius attack, which is just kind of, and it has a targeting function too. So it's like there's so many layers to this. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's it. So there's one comment down here, this guy right here. I have a friend that talked about this. So I believe this guy is right as far as I know, if I'm not mistaken. So this guy, Bookworm, says, so Fiddle with minion stacking passive like Thresh for lifesteal, and an ult that I can't really tell what it does, but to me sort of sounds like Vlad ult effect boosting damage but also increases allies HP maybe, and has some sort of mobility attached. At least to me, based off that, the ult sounds like Fiddle ult, where you TP in and do a radius, but it's buffering or buffing instead of just raw damage, question mark. Sounds at least more interesting than their usual originals, or at least the ult sounds unique, lol, but does seem like they pulled a ton from Fiddle, so it's probably mechanically what I'm imagining she plays like. Okay, so for those of you confused, like, what do you mean Fiddle? Who's this Thresh and this Vlad? These are all characters from League of Legends. This game, much like other MOBAs, they pull a lot of stuff from other MOBAs. I don't know if this is true or not. As far as I'm aware, it's right. But once again, there's no way for me to guarantee that. So just take this video with a big grain of salt and make sure that you know these are all subject to change. Besides that, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Once again, check the description for a link to this Reddit. That way you guys can see, even in videos that I haven't done, like other characters that have kind of been leaked and other future characters, like the big spider guy that's in the splash art. As far as I know, his name is Oni, and he's been in a leak. I just don't want to go back through and do a whole bunch of past leaks and stuff like that. But anyways, with what I was saying before, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far into it, subscribe if you would like to see more of these. I try to be on top of them. This was literally released today, 6 hours ago. So yeah, I keep up with it as much as I can. All right. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you would like to subscribe and see more content. And I hope to see you in the next one.